Well, good morning, folks. Uh, I just have a quick thought while you're perusing and reading and watching and all that kind of stuff, learning about the world. Uh, Keep in mind in the forefront of your thinking about norms, in particular, social and cultural norms. You can also think about technology, energy norms, things like that. What we take for granted as well as what we want to fit into as people, where we want to fit in, identity, and so on. Um, because norms change, they just do, even though maybe way back in the past, uh, norms stayed the same longer because technology wasn't changing as quickly, because we had a different energy use profile back in the day. Warfare didn't change that much. The Holy Roman Empire, um, the Roman Republic, or whatever. There were times when things seemed to stay the same, uh, but fashion changed and tools evolved and so on, and leading up to the age of reason and the Enlightenment and the Industrial Revolution, all that stuff. And so today we have norms as well. Fashion, we're all slaves to fashion to certain degrees. But these norms will change. They'll change just naturally because things do change. Fashion and tastes change over time, but also circumstances will dictate what's normal in the future. For example, you might be used to gasoline and gas being a certain price, or grocery stores being stocked to the ceiling with all kinds of food from all over the world. And these things may or may not change over time, depending on what happens to us and what happens to our global system. And it is a global system. So we have global norms, we have global laws, we do have international law, even though it may or may not mean something to certain people. Uh, I'm reading this book now, The Internationalists, which is about some people who tried to outlaw war and how that changed the way we do things now, and so on. And also the law and the reasons for war going way, way back. And it's quite an interesting story, starting in the 14th century and going on through the Indian Wars and Napoleonic Wars. There's a lot of historical foundation in the book. But regardless of that, things will change, norms will change. And so maybe we can be a little more cognizant of that and perhaps put our 5 cents in, right? The Discovery Institute wants to make it normal for a certain type of Christian religion, creationism, to be a part of the government, the Supreme Court, the schools, everything in life, kind of a handmaid's tale thing. And that would be a change of norms, wouldn't it? And other people want other things. So the culture wars will continue, but let's not take for granted what we think is normal. Our grandparents thought different things were normal than we do, and the future will be different as well. So the more we keep that in our mind, the more we may be able to, uh, you know, kind of make decisions based on what norms we think are most important and should be preserved or should be expected or should be developed and created. Culture is the most difficult thing in the universe to change. And we're going to have to change our culture to remain sustainable on a global civilization basis. We'll see what happens, but that's all I wanted to say. So thanks for listening. William T. out.